This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
For your information, as the holidays approach, the shelves are full at the Divine Providence Homeless Shelter in Hazleton, but they can always use your help. Why, hello there, and thank you for watching. I'm Ken Kara. This is FYI, your place for 24 hours of your hometown news and information from FYI and the Hazleton Standard Speaker. Let's start with our headlines. Well, it's become a holiday tradition. Burger Family Dealerships on Route 93 in Hazel Township presented donations today to 4 Hazleton area charities just in time for the Christmas holiday. The donations were made possible by the annual You Could Be Santa fundraiser. Gift certificates were presented to the Salvation Army and Catholic Social Services, both in Hazleton, the Hazleton Enlarged Ministries and Latimer United Methodist Church, and United Charities and United Children's Home in West Hazleton.
Between Thanksgiving and Christmas, every person that buys a car, we put $50 away on the sale, and then at Christmas time, we give it to the 4 charities. And we've been doing it for the past 20 years. It's actually close to $70,000 that we've been able to donate. So it's been very successful.
Do these charities mean something to you, or just do you think they're important in the area?
Well, they're important in the area. The Salvation Army, Catholic Social Services, the Charity House in West Hazleton, and the Ministerial Association, which all help local people, and that's what it's all about.
This Christmas is a particularly important one to me. My father, Reverend Abernethy, passed away in June. He and Teresa Zogby actually started the social service agencies in Hazleton, guided them together. So this is a very important Christmas for me. This was his favorite time of the year.
And with the donations, where do they go to then? You said gift certificates and that. Is it for the boys there to get some presents or to get some stuff they need? Or
it goes for presents. It goes to the boys, absolutely to the boys. And they have such a kick. If they go to Laurel Mall, they get to pick out whatever it may be. If they're food things, they go to the store, they plan a menu, they make the meal. So it's directly for the boys, and they love it.
General Manager Jeff Berger says that they are blessed to have new and loyal customers whose patronage of their company makes this annual fundraiser such a success. Another organization that is very much in need of donations is the Divine Providence Homeless Shelter in Hazleton. FYI's Lisa Sugart and I stopped by the shelter this week for an update on the Giving Shelter campaign.
I am pleased to be here at the Divine Providence Homeless Shelter in Hazleton with the shelter coordinator, Mary Jo Pancala. We're giving you an update on our campaign, Giving Shelter, which is sponsored by SSPTV, the Hazleton Standard Speaker, the United Way of Greater Hazleton, and Catholic Social Services of Hazleton. Mary Jo, we see shelves behind us that are looking pretty good. So how has the response been?
It's been wonderful. These shelves were bare just a few weeks ago, and we actually had to have an event where volunteers came in and helped us for a day organize all this stuff, because we needed to have it where we knew where we could find the things. It's just been coming in, and we're having a hard time keeping up.
Well, that's good news.
It's a
very good news. We're seeing the food pantry items here, but you also got blankets and clothing. So tell us what the update is on that.
Okay, we're good now with blankets and comforters and sheets and clothing. Coats are always needed, especially now. Gloves, socks, and long underwear for both men and women could be very, very, very helpful for these folks that are trying to keep warm in the daytime.
And you're providing meals for the people who are here, so you always need volunteers to make the meals. But you need paper and plastic products to serve that. And you said coffee items, too.
Yes. We get a lot of our food from the Weinberg Foundation. However, we don't get coffee and sugar and the powdered creamer and those kinds of things. And that's a hot commodity in the shelter. We go through several pots each night. So, yeah, we can always use coffee, sugar, those kinds of things.
Well, I know Neil had said last week he was so proud that there is this shelter taking place, especially in this extreme cold that we've been experiencing. How many people have been coming in and utilizing it?
Okay, we're back up. The numbers were dropping down as the weather got better, but now we're back up. We're up at 15 now, and I know that if the weather continues, which it will, it's Hazleton, we will be back up again. And with the bunk beds that were built by Faith Assembly, we can house up to 24 people.
Wow, that's wonderful. Yeah. And when we're talking about the items, though, that you needed, you came up with an interesting item. You mentioned bus passes. Tell us why bus passes are now also being sought.
Yes, and it just dawned on me when people are wonderful. They keep asking me, what could they use bus passes? Because if the residents can't get to their job interview or can't go to make that application or make it to their job, they can't take the job. And you know, the first step is usually get the job, then get the apartment, and then transition out. So bus passes would be a blessing.
Oh, well, we hope people watching will continue to make donations. The Giving Shelter campaign continues, and we want to make sure that we continue to provide the help that is needed. If anyone wants to volunteer in any way, whether it be time-wise, meal-wise, donation-wise, where do they call or what do they do?
Okay, call Catholic Social Services, 570-455-1521. We're open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And tell them you'd like to speak to Mary Jo, the shelter coordinator, and we'll get you active in this great program. Neil is so proud. Like you said, he's been trying to do this for over 21 years. Wow. And finally, we have it.
And lastly, I would be remiss if I missed this. The PayPal account has been established as well, and there is a link on SSPTV.com. People can make a financial contribution right to the shelter.
That's correct. That's correct. And that's another major help in, you know, because we're paying for the utilities. We're not paying for this site. The church is so generous in allowing us to stay, but we're heating it, we're lighting it. So, you know, those kinds of things, and every little thing else that comes up.
Absolutely. Well, it wouldn't have been the success it's been thus far without the help of you, our viewers. So please continue to support the Giving Shelter campaign to benefit Divine Providence Homeless Shelter right here on North Laurel Street in Hazleton. Go to ssptv.com to click on PayPal link so that you can make a financial contribution or any of the donations that Mary Jo mentioned. Please help. Let's help keep everyone warm this winter.
The campaign is accepting new items only, and you can still donate through the end of the year. You can make a monetary donation through PayPal. We have a link on our website, ssptv.com. In other news, a broken sprinkler is causing headaches for another nonprofit organization in our area just before the holiday. A sprinkler broke on Saturday inside the apartment building that also houses the offices of the United Way of Greater Hazleton. 12 residents have been temporarily displaced from their apartments until the sprinkler system is repaired. However, the United Way offices in the basement of the building received the brunt of the damage. Even though the offices did suffer substantial water damage, United Way President and CEO Pat Ward says it is business as usual, with employees working from home and phone calls being rerouted. The sprinkler problem comes at a very busy time for the organization. That's because the United Way of Greater Hazleton will host its annual Community Christmas Dinner on Christmas Day. The dinner will be served this Sunday from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. at Holy Rosary Church, 240 South Poplar Street in Hazleton. Everyone is welcome to attend the free dinner. Delivery and rides are available, and volunteers are needed to help out. For more information, call the United Way at 570-455-9515. Meanwhile, Community Bible Fellowship Church in Hazleton will serve a free lunch on Christmas Day. It will take place on Sunday from noon until 2 p.m. or until the food runs out. The menu includes cheese ravioli, salad, bread, dessert, and more. There will also be a worship service at 10:45 a.m. Community Bible Fellowship is located at the corner of James and Spruce Streets in Hazleton. With Christmas just 4 days away, many of us are busy shopping, baking, and cleaning, but one church in our area is extending an invitation to the entire community to stop what you're doing this Christmas Eve and come as you are to their candlelight service. First Presbyterian Church in Weatherly is inviting everyone to take a break for an hour and celebrate the real reason for the season with an evening of candlelight beauty, joy, and song with family, friends, and neighbors. Pastor Glenn Huholt says the informal dress it's informal, and informal dress is welcome. Work uniforms, whatever you're wearing. He invites everyone to come and celebrate the birth of Jesus with scripture, music, and fellowship. The candlelight service is at 7 p.m. Saturday at First Presbyterian Church, East Main and Spring Street in Weatherly. A Hazleton man convicted last week of murder is looking to have his jury's decision reversed. 31-year-old Elzar Israel is convicted of first-degree murder in the shooting death of 52-year-old Sam Vacant of Drums. Israel filed motions yesterday seeking to reverse the jury's verdict. Israel alleges that the jury's decision was based on, quote, speculation and conjecture, unquote. Coming up on FYI, Standard Speaker sports editor Dave Seaman is here to chat about local sports. And after this break, gift ideas from PennDOT. Yes, you heard that right, and there's some really good ideas. Stay tuned.
This is FYI News 13. Brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
I'm very pleased to welcome back our good friend James May from PennDOT. He is a regional press director and here usually giving us tips on driving and travel, but today you came to give us gift ideas for the Christmas and Hanukkah season.
You don't normally think of PennDOT and gift giving, do you? But this is the time of year when a number of us are giving gifts for whatever holiday we're celebrating. And I just want to encourage people, think through maybe some gifts that you might be able to give people to keep them safe on the roads. I know as a dad of 3 children, 2 of whom are driving and 1, she has her permit. We're doing that this year and thinking through what can we give our kids that will keep them safe. So if you have young kids, you might want to think about, especially if you buy them a bike, make sure you buy them a bike helmet and the knee pads and everything that would go along with that to keep them safe. For those of us who have children who are driving, think through all of those things like jumper cables, maybe new tires for their car. It's not quite as exciting, but it does keep them safe behind the wheel. So maybe mix it in with some other the more fun gifts. But to think through those things, one of the other things that you might want to do is look at giving them an emergency kit to put in their car. And this would include things like flashlight, batteries, gloves, just a whole bunch of stuff that you would put back there. Make sure they have a good ice scraper for their car. These are those things that, you know, as a teenager, we might think, oh, that's not too exciting, Dad. I'm not too thrilled about that. But it really is important to make sure we keep them safe on the road. So think about safety this holiday season.
I did that last Christmas. I gave everybody like a little thing that you could plug into, and it had a light on it and jumper cables attached.
Yes.
You could jump your own car. So, you know, I did do that. I got them safety things. They looked at me crazy, but they were glad they had it because unfortunately they had to use it.
Well, and my mom just wrote to me the other day, and I don't want to give any gift ideas away here, but she said, do the kids all have jumper cables for their car? And I said, yes, because last year we bought them jumper cables. So think through some ideas to keep them safe on the holidays.
All right. And speaking of keeping safe, if we're all gathering for the holidays, you said there are some uncomfortable topics that may come up that involve driving.
There are. This is the time of year when many of us are getting together with brothers and sisters, and we may have either a mom or a dad or maybe a grandparent who's getting older, and that question inevitably comes up, ooh, have you seen grandma driving? It's not too good, and what do you do? So 3 things that I would remind people. First of all, keep in mind, maybe before you look at taking the car keys away, because that's always a very difficult topic, there are some adapters that you can get. And if you want to contact me at jamay@pa.gov, it's little things like an adapter for your foot pedal, the brake, so that it's more for them. Seat cushions you might be able to use. There are a lot of adapters that you can buy for drivers who are elderly. So that's one thing to keep in mind. We also offer a program through our office called CarFit. And essentially, it's a checklist where they go through and they will check the car to make sure the car fits to the driver and the driver fits to the car. And finally, make sure that your elderly mom, dad, grandparent is not on any medications, because that may impact their driving as well. So if you want more information, contact me at jamay@pa.gov.
Great ideas. I think everybody, whether they're parents or whomever, they're great gift ideas, and they'll keep everybody safe. So I want to take this opportunity to wish you a Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas to you as well.
Time now for FYI News 13 weather.
I don't think it's going to be a white Christmas, but we may see some flurries this weekend. Here's our local forecast from the National Weather Service. Tonight, cloudy with a low of 28 degrees. On Thursday, we have a 30% chance of snow showers, mainly between noon and 2 p.m. Mostly cloudy, high of 35 degrees. New snow accumulation of less than a ½ inch possible. Thursday night will be partly cloudy, low in the mid-20s. Friday is sunny, will be up in the mid-30s. Friday night, mostly cloudy, low of 28 degrees. Christmas Eve day, 30% chance of snow showers between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. Then a chance of rain showers after 2 p.m. We'll have a high near 38 degrees. Saturday night, 30% chance of rain showers before 8 p.m. Then a chance of some flurries between 8 p.m. and 2 a.m. Partly cloudy, low of 29. On Christmas Day, we have a chance of flurries before 8 a.m. Mostly sunny though, highs in the upper 30s. And then on Christmas night, mostly cloudy with a low of 29 degrees. On to your midday winning lottery numbers on FYI. Pick 2, 8, 5, pick 3, 8, 1, 6. Your pick 4 numbers 4, 3, 1, 9, and pick 5, 2, 4, 0, 3, 5. When we come back, we'll get caught up on what's going on in local sports with Dave Seaman from the Standard Speaker.
This is FYI News 13 Sports.
Dave Day here on FYI, another week and a busy week. Dave, you've been running around all over the place. This is the Standard Speaker Sports Editor, Dave Seaman, by the way. You've been covering the Hazelton area basketball team. Joe Madden was in town last week. Let's start with the Hazelton area Cougars. Dave, they played a really tough non-conference schedule. They lost some really tight games against good teams. You were there for the Whitehall game down in the Lehigh Valley. They got the victory there, and it seemed like it all came together. In your story I read, they were kind of calling it a must-win, even though it was early in the year.
Yeah, I don't know if you can necessarily call it a must-win, but after losing 2 games in a row, yeah, certainly you want to get your morale back and get feeling your excitement again, because there's a lot of excitement coming into the season. Tough 1-point loss at Scranton Prep, which is one of the top-ranked state 4A team in the state. That was a great game, a lot of exciting basketball. They went to Central Dauphin East, had a tough 4-point overtime loss there too. So to kind of reverse that less than 12 hours later, come back and beat a very good Whitehall team, which is undefeated, says a lot about how the Cougars are going to perform this year, and shows that they're not going to let a couple losses get in their way.
Start their conference schedule against Coughlin on Thursday. Dave, sometimes when teams are hyped or people get excited about teams, it might take a while for them to come into their own. It seems like this team has been as good as advertised from almost day one.
Yeah, offensively, definitely. There's some things you got to work on, but that's why you play a tough non-league schedule. Not everything's going to be perfect. Some players are playing regular minutes for the first time, like, for example, Joey Grula, who's in the starting lineup for the first time as a high school player. So to adjust and get into a flow and get a chemistry built, it takes some time. And to do that against good competition, I think if you're Coach Mike Joseph, you can't ask for anything more than that.
Speaking of a lot of talent and teams that people are excited about in this area, the Shenandoah Valley Blue Devils, Dave, with Joel Santana, the Standard Speaker Player of the Year last year, talking about just how much depth they have this year, that they could really make some noise. First Division III Schuylkill League game of the season, they get upset by their rivals, Monoy area, and Monoy did it with defense. Dave, Coach Eichhorst down there doing all right with the Golden Bears, and it's going to be rough in that Division III.
Oh, there's no doubt about it, too. I mean, Monoy area, those kids are born to play basketball. They're really tough-minded kids. They know what their program stands for, what it's been about through the years. They have a tradition to uphold from under Mickey Holland and Scott Hudson. The defense has always been their forte. Coach Eichhorst is trying to bring that back this year, and they've won now 3 games in a row, and to beat Shenandoah Valley at Shenandoah Valley in their league opener, definitely a step in the right direction for the Golden Bears.
Shane Miller had a double-double in that game for Monoy area with 10 points and 14 rebounds. Another team people are excited about, the Hazelton area Wrestlers, and Steve Stallone was at their first home match of the season. You can read all about that in today's Standard Speaker. But recently, Dave, there was another wrestling tournament. The Cougars performed very well there against some of the top wrestlers in the state. That was really a measuring stick.
Yeah, the Sheets Invitational at Mount Aloysius College out in western Pennsylvania. The Cougars had 3 runner-up finishes, and Jimmy Hoffman, Carson Kinney, and Shane Noonan all finished second, and Cougars are right on the cusp of winning the team title in a very prestigious event. Again, like we talked about with basketball too, you want to prepare yourself early in the season so you're ready late in the season. And Coach Keith Maurer has always done that with his team.
And Dave, the North Schuylkill Swimmers, the program is back this year. They win their very first meet against Mount Carmel. I was really impressed with their head coach, Linda Jones, when I sat down and talked with her. She seemed so confident. She really knew her stuff. Not that I know a ton about swimming, but she sat there as I was talking with her. As I listened to her talk to the team, Dave, she was talking about winning, not just staying afloat in this first year back in the pool, and she has some talent down there helping her out.
Well, I think what helps the Spartans out is a lot of the swimmers that they have this year competed for Mono area last year too, so they had a lot of success at the District 11 level, and some of them even went on to states. There was a relay team that went to states, so the Spartans do have some experience there.
And finally, Dave, Major Jordan, linebacker from North Schuylkill High School, senior, will be going to Lafayette, and Kyle Plesh from Marion, senior defensive lineman, named All-State. And Major Jordan, this is his third time, Dave. That seems like a major accomplishment. I mean, how often does that happen? And he was just really impressive to watch on both sides of the ball.
There's no doubt about it. Superior football player. I mean, there's no doubt Lafayette's getting a gem there. Hard-nosed kid, Coal Region kid, tough kid, and you talk about the history of a three-time All-State football player. The only one I could think of locally is Donald Patrick, the outstanding receiver from the Hazleton area in the late 1990s. Ended up going to the University of Pittsburgh, then he transferred to Bloomsburg, but in the run-and-shoot offense under John Yacino, Don Patrick was a prolific receiver. So that's the only one I really remember that was a three-time All-State player. You do it once, you know, great. Do it twice, it's like, well, that's pretty special. That's an awesome accomplishment. And then to do it three times, well, you're in rarefied air there.
Yeah, they mentioned sometimes in the article I read in the Standard Speaker that sometimes when the coaches said maybe the Coal Region gets overlooked, we forget right in our backyard we have great football and great sports as well. We're going to have Dave back on tomorrow as we take a look back at 2016. You made it to the middle of the work week. Reward yourself at Bottlenecks. It's their featured steak entree night with plenty of amazing steak options.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. First tonight, the American Cancer Society's Road to Recovery program, which helps drive patients to their potentially life-saving treatments, is now searching for volunteers to provide transportation in Luzerne County. Drivers specifically for the greater Hazleton area are needed. For more information, please call 1-800-227-2345 or visit cancer.org/volunteer. And finally, one more quick announcement. The Tamaqua Community Arts Center, 125 Pine Street, will be holding a January Artist Meet and Greet on Thursday, January 5th. The event will feature Tamaqua resident Suzanne Dalton and is free and open to the public, be held from 6:30 to 8:30, and light refreshments will be served. Suzanne is a watercolor artist and her work will be on display until January 27th. For info, just call 570-668-1192. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Betty R. Hodgson of Hazleton. Funeral service is Friday at 10 a.m. in the Hazel Chapel of the Cropton Hughes Funeral Home. Friends may call Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. Joan M. Pushover, formerly of Hazleton. Funeral is Friday at 10 a.m. at the Holy Rosary Church. Arrangements are under the direction of the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Hazel Smith of Hazleton. Funeral services will be held privately and under the direction of the Rosenstock Funeral Home. Charles N. Kirshner of Drums. Arrangements are incomplete and will be announced by the Hazel Chapel of the Cropton Hughes Funeral Home. August K. Birdie of Easton. Arrangements are incomplete and will be announced by the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. And Clara A. Sokolowski of McAdoo. Arrangements are incomplete and will be announced by the Damiano Funeral Home. Attention pay-per-view subscribers, if you see your name right now on News 13, you'll have 13 minutes to call in and win a free movie from Service Electric Cablevision. Our winner tonight is Margie Kester of Tamaqua. Margie, if you're watching, give us a call, 570-455-7267, extension 104.
2 more days of FYI fun this week. Tomorrow, Dave Seaman and I will recap a very busy 2016 in sports locally. That's it for tonight. Take it easy, everyone.